conference. We're going to go ahead and get to the press here in just a minute. I want to point out that if you're in the press, we're going to go ahead and have you ask one question. Then we'll go to someone else. And if we have time, we'll come on back to you. Welcome to all our VIPs. Welcome to our fans. Welcome to the teams. And we're going to go to our 250 All-Stars. Big round of applause for our podium out here. Cole Davies and Avery Long are here, first and second. Alex, who got third, had to hop on a plane and head on home, but they did a fantastic job. Cole Davies, we're just going to go big picture here. I'll let them get into the details. Big win for you. Back-to-back championships. How does it feel, bud?
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling. Had a really good day today. I was P1 first qualifying, P1 second qualifying, and then won the race. So, yeah, perfect day today, and I'm stoked.
All right, ready to celebrate in Las Vegas? How old are you, man?
I'm 17.
Yeah. All right, just keep a lid on it for tonight then. All right, very cool. Scott, let's start with you, bud.
Scott Yarjo, MotoNet blog. Cole, you were one of the only riders doing the quad in the rhythm section. Take us through your approach to that. Is that something where you can take advantage of your star teammates and kind of talk to them about how to approach it?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was pretty chill. It was almost easier probably going 4-4 than like all the other little, trying to time the 3-3 or whatever it was. So, yeah, it's not bad. You just go for it, I guess.
And a quick follow-up to that. Avery, is that the quad, is that something you considered or tried all day?
No, I didn't try it. I guess I just didn't sack up and hit it like Cole. But no, I didn't hit it. I just went for the rhythm like everybody else was doing.
Alex Ray, Swap Moto Live for Cole. Seeing the progression, like over the last couple of years, I remember seeing you like your first day in Supercross, and then now at the big stage, winning, one of the best, at the highest level at the amateur races. Just talk a little bit about the transition, moving from, New Zealand over to here, and yeah, just being picked up a start.
Yeah, it's definitely a big transition. The whole atmosphere over here is pretty huge. I've came a long way since I first rode on that Yamaha track back in, was it 2022, something like that. Yeah, I was struggling to get around the track just then, but now I'm enjoying it. I'm loving the bike and everything like that. So yeah, it's been good.
Johnny Hopper with MX Unfiltered. Avery, you had a really good battle coming up through the pack, and the sun was glaring right in your guys' eyes. Could you see any of the obstacles, or was it just drop the elbow and just keep racing because this is an all-star race?
There's definitely a couple spots that it was tough to see, but I'd say probably about halfway through, the sun kind of went down enough where, there really wasn't any spots you should have to worry about at that point. So, say by about halfway, all the vision was good.
Michael Lindsay from BioMX for Avery Long. Avery, coming into this race, you have people like Cole Davies, Drew Adams, even now Kaden Manier, that sort of have their future mapped out. That's something that you've been trying to accomplish. I know there are people that have basically doubted your abilities indoors. Is this the most pressure you've faced as a race as you're trying to prove to people, why you deserve a job, basically, heading into the pro ranks?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, there's a lot of pressure going into it. Especially, yeah, like you said, not having job security going into pro ranks, that's big. And, I think it kind of weighed a lot on me at the beginning of the day. Just kind of struggled a little bit and just wasn't really thinking clear. And then for the main, I just kind of sat down and gave myself a nice little talking and just kind of cleared my head and was able to kind of put in a solid ride up to second. So.
Alex?
Hey, Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. For Cole, can you explain your feeling now to when you arrive at these events? You had a number of big wins in your career as an amateur. How's that confidence, the belief when you're at the gates now? That I feel like it's really evident on the track.
Yeah, obviously today I was first in both qualifying, so being on the gate I was definitely pretty confident, and I knew that in the qualifyings we were doing some practice starts, and I think I whole shot of both of them, so I was pretty confident I was going to go out there and do good. So yeah, definitely lots of confidence.
Nick Steele, MotoOnline.com. This will be for Cole. Cole, what's next for you, and what you hope to do here in America and your plan in the future? What's the goals?
Yeah, quick little off season, do some training back at the farm, and then you'll find out.
I like it.
Jace?
Cole, mate, obviously a little bit of an Aussie, New Zealand, I guess, Anzac invasion coming over here. You've got Caden, you've got yourself, we've got Heathy Fisher in some of the, like the more junior ranks, Tiger Wood. For the Aussies or the Anzacs that are at home listening, obviously we've got a lot of talent down there, but we don't have a lot of Supercross as such. What's your advice? What were some of the things you did maybe 3-4 years ago that set you up to be a factory rider in the US doing really well at Supercross?
Honestly, just set a plan out what you're going to do and then dream it and live it, I guess. So, yeah.
Alex Ray, Swap Moto Live for Avery Long. Just talk a little bit about being that dark horse, that underdog. Is that making you a little bit more hungry? Just to get that better result in the next step of your racing?
Yeah, it definitely drives me more. That's for sure. Definitely want that factor I go into the pro, so makes me want to do better, and it makes it a little bit more important. So it definitely fuels the fire when I don't have a good race, and it makes me want to beat the guys that do have secure jobs a lot more.
Jamie Guida?
Yeah, Jamie Guida, Vital MX. Avery Long, I want to follow up with Michael Lindsay's question. Very successful at Loretta Lynn's, a couple titles 2 years ago, some awards, but are there any offers on the table? Do you have anything lined up that you can talk about for next year?
No, I don't have anything right now. Just kind of playing it by ear, doing the work every day, and just kind of working my hardest is all I can do right now. And hope I get a phone call. Been trying my best to reach out to people and make all the phone calls I can. But as of right now, no, I don't have nothing.
Well, hopefully tonight helped, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Brent Bowser?
Yeah, Brent Bowser, Whiskey Throw Media. My question's for Avery. Avery, we talked on the podcast a few weeks ago. We talked about the success you had outdoors, and with the injuries you had, maybe a little uncertainty about Supercross. I think you put those uncertainties to rest tonight. I have to imagine how stoked you are about your ride today.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely been uncertainties about my Supercross abilities, just with me getting hurt last year and whatnot. But yeah, I'm super happy with my ride tonight. Having to come through and pass some people, and yeah, hopefully they see that I can ride Supercross, and teams look at that.
Mitch Kendra?
Hey, Mitch Kendra with RacerX Online. Cole, obviously you mentioned the huge improvements this year. You mentioned fitness when we talked after the Ironman Combine. Is it just that fitness is such a big factor? I guess when you work on your fitness and that improves, you can just improve your game all around. Can you just talk about how that, how you've improved so much there?
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work for I think it was last year. That was the first time I've really actually started doing off-bike training, and just having a week of just hard work, and yeah, I mean, it's paying off now. It's definitely better throughout the end of the races. I'm definitely a lot fitter than last year, and being able to push all the way through the race. So yeah, it's definitely better.
Scott?
Congrats on the ride.
Scott Yarja, MotoNet Blog. Avery, you mentioned the nerves heading into today. How does that compare to a race like Loretta's, especially both the nerves and the importance for you to do well?
I'd say it was definitely more nervous today than I was at Loretta's, just because Loretta's, I've done it so many times. It just feels like another race where these the futures and SMX race like this. Haven't really done much of, so it was definitely more nerve-wracking, and just the need for me to do better and do good here definitely played a factor in that too. But yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap it up with the 250 World All-Stars. Great job, Cole Davies, Avery Long. Big round of applause for these two right here. Gotcha. All right, let's bring him up. Our 250 podium up here. We have Tom Vial making his way in, Pierce Brown, and Hayden Deegan. Come on down. Hayden Deegan with some serious hardware up here. 32 pounds, I think, is the weight of that trophy. I think you're right in the middle, buddy. Some nice weight to carry, huh? It is heavy, but you earned it, bud. With a heavy ride, heavy season, heavy series right here. I'm just going to go big picture, bud. What does this mean to you, your team, your family, all the hard work you've put in? How's this feel to back it up with back-to-back championships in SMX?
Yeah, definitely super cool. It's definitely super cool, too, because I'm only 18. Three-time champ at 18 is definitely a gnarly goal knocked off the list. I definitely didn't think I'd be in this position as fast as I am right now, but I have a good team around me, my family, so a lot of hard work, and we're moving.
Well done. All right, let's open it up to our media. Dan Beaver.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Pierce. I think they said that climbing to third was a difference of like $132,000. Which is more important, the win, your first dirt bike win at this level, or the $132,000?
I'd say the win for sure. I mean, the money's cool. Yeah, the money's cool, but that win, it's been long overdue. It just feels like a monkey off my back. So, yeah, obviously it's been a goal for a while, but we made it happen. So, yeah, now it's expected.
Alex.
Yeah, Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. For Hayden, can you take us through that second moto, knowing you're obviously on your way to the championship? What was going through your mind, and how hard were you pushing, or did you want to go for the win? What was that consideration like?
Yeah, on the start, I actually had a good start, and I let off too early and got pinched off, so it was kind of my fault. But then I started, just had it kind of locked in and got my lines dialed and started making some passes, made my way up to, I think it was third or something, and then Tom went down, so I was in second. And then I was trying to, I tried to put a charge on to catch Pierce, but he was riding so good, it just wasn't worth the risk. I was like, I seen 4 laps to go, and I was like, championship sounds really nice, right? I don't want to do something stupid, so I just had to ride it in.
Andrea
Ruggiero, Motor Now blog. For Pierce, that was a season-high finish for you. Congratulations on the first win. What was it about this track that really gelled so well with you today?
Thank you. I don't know. I think a lot of things. I don't think it was just the track. I think the work that I've been putting in on the starts. I mean, it's crazy what a start could do. I mean, I feel like nothing's really changed speed-wise. I mean, I've been putting in the work week in, week out, but it hasn't been able to show because I've been starting 7th or 10th, And yeah, these guys are so fast, so it's hard to run through them like I want to. But it's it's cool. Thank you again. But yeah, I'm just trying to let it sink in right now.
Let's go over here.
Next door, MotoOnline.com. This will be for Pierce. Pierce, how important is it to find that, that race win and sort of get that belief at the end of a season with whatever next venture you've got? Is it almost a relief, a breath of fresh air that, hey, I can do this. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, no, it was kind of like a dream day. I mean, this is TLD Gas's last race as a team, and I've been with the team my whole career. Haven't been able to knock off a win for them, and waited till the last race with them. So it feels good. It feels great. But yeah, just for myself, I needed that really bad. It's been a mediocre year for me. I've been putting in the work week in, week out, but it just hasn't really showed on the weekends because, like I said, starts haven't been there. And we finally had 2 decent starts, and I just felt really good all day. No, I think for next year it's going to be really good.
Deegan, so you were the only rider to have the paddle tire. I'll just talk louder.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You were the only rider to have the paddle tire both motos. And that first moto, you actually came from the left-hand side and cut everybody off. Can you describe that feeling of getting the whole shot in the final SMX? And then also, what do you like so much about that paddle tire?
Yeah, I mean, I believe I could have had 2 whole shots if I didn't let off so early the second start. I mean, it's ideal for the conditions on the start. Like, it just hooks up, so I like it. And the track, I mean, I can't really. It's now I feel like it's like just a normal tire to me. The way I ride Supercross on it and stuff, it just feels like a normal tire, and it benefits me a lot. So, if you can figure out how to flat track good with it, then everything else comes pretty good.
Zach Newberry, Transworld Motocross, motocross.com. Questions for Pierce. Remember at the press conference in Charlotte, I asked you about doing, the full year. You finally got a full year under your belt. Now you got a win. So, what do you take in the off season to be a title contender in 2025 and work on that?
Yeah, I think this is my first full season. I made every single round, and finally got it done the last race. It feels good. But for next year, it just elevates my expectation for myself. Sorry. But yeah, this is definitely going to jumpstart some belief, and I can't wait for next year.
You want to? Yeah, go ahead.
Alex Ray, Swap Moto Live for Tom Vial. The track seemed like it was a bit tough to pass today, and with the conditions, it seems like you had to make a few aggressive passes. Just talk a little bit about the track a little bit, I guess, have you struggled a little bit with your starts, since you moved over to the U.S. Versus like the MXGP, and just talk a little bit about bike differences between the two.
I mean, the track was pretty fun. I think it was. I feel like everyone was riding the same, especially in that first moto. We just follow each other, and it's really tough to pass. Actually, I had a contact with Ty in the first moto, and he fell down. And second moto, I touched his back wheel, and I fell down. So I was really frustrated after the second moto because I was feeling really good, and the starts. I had a bad start first moto, and then second moto was better. I could close the guy on my inside, and I was like second. So it's a little bit up and down. I mean, here there's a lot of good riders. The bike are also a lot of different good bikes. So it's different than in GPs, I think. We got a weekend off. I'm going to the Nation, so next week. So it's gonna be fun to be back there.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now blog. Tom, you're sitting next to 2 guys who are probably leaving the end of the season here with a lot of confidence on a high. Talk about the end of this season to you, and like where you're at mentally heading into next year, and what you can take away and what you can learn from.
I think it was a long season for everyone. Obviously, we don't do the full Supercross series like the 450, so we got like maybe 7 or 8 races less than the 450 guys. So I'm pretty happy that it's over. It's kind of a long series, and I still have one more race in 2 weeks, the Nation, and then I will take a little bit a break. And obviously I won the Supercross, and Aiden beat me twice, the outdoor and the SMX. So the goal for next year is to work on that a little bit on the outdoor side, and obviously Supercross too. But try to understand and find some better options for next year.
Justin Kelly, Swing Iron Media. This is for Hayden. What's the plan now? A little rest or get back at it and get ready for Supercross?
Yeah, I'm gonna take some time off. It's a long season. I honestly just been looking forward to the time off. So just chill for a couple weeks, and then you lock back in and grind so you can win another championship.
Hayden, mate. Word on the street is you beat up Sean Strickland in Vegas the last couple of days. What was it like to go to the UFC PI? Obviously, Monster is a shared sponsor between Monster Energy Supercross and then the UFC. So you got a first-hand look, very up-close and personal look at a guy who was the middleweight champion of the world. So I guess just talk us through that experience and what it's like to have, I guess, a sponsor like Monster that can kind of get you in and out of these different worlds.
Yeah, definitely. Monster has a lot of connections, so that's one real good thing about them as well. But yeah, honestly, I was like, he wanted to spar so bad, and it was 2 days before the race, so I was like, I mean, I guess I'll try, but he's just like, it's crazy how good they are. Like, you'll swing on him, and the reaction time and moving your hands is crazy. But I think I might actually go spar with him tomorrow if I can. If I want to go spar with Sean Strickland, and I'm sure he'll beat me up, but that'd be cool.
How were the nerves in there? Like, did you actually legitimately get nervous to be in that environment? Because big dude, imposing figure, middleweight champion of the world. It must have actually been a pretty heavy experience.
Yeah, he's actually in person, he's huge. It was he's definitely a scary dude, and he was like, hit me, yelling me to hit him in the face. I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to hit you in the face right now, dog. I do not want to get killed. And I went off on him, and he was just messing with me. Obviously, he wasn't gonna hit me hard because he knew I had to race, but it was definitely intimidating. It took me a good minute and a half to even try to throw a punch because I did not want to get beat up.
Glad you held back a bit. Mitch Kendra?
Hey, Mitch Kendra with Racer X. Pierce, congrats on the huge win tonight. You're riding great both motos, and I know it means a lot to you and the team as well. But I got to ask you, talk about that ride last weekend in Texas. Was that actually harder charging through the field? I think you were dead last both motos into the top 10 and fifth in the second moto. Was that actually harder last weekend than it was tonight when you got the win?
Thank you. And going back to last week, I think, yes, for sure. Those the second moto, and it was hot in Texas too, but the second moto I had to dig. Came back to fifth and looked back on my lap times and segment times, and I was like, dang, I'm actually pretty close. It's been a while since I've felt like I had winning speed, and after last week, and I'm like, dude, I could win one of these things. So I came into this week, I'm like, I'm gonna just give it my all, and if it happens, it happens. If not, but yeah, we put all our chips on the table this week and came out with a win. And back to your question, I think last weekend was harder than this weekend. I mean, getting a start makes it so much easier on you, and you're out of the roost and out of just the carnage,
And just a quick follow-up, through all the highs and lows, have you been doubting maybe this win would never come? The podiums, you don't take those for granted. We know you've been working hard. Has it still been fun? Have you been doubting yourself? I guess walk us through the mindset from each week, throughout the week, through the races and everything.
I mean, yeah, it's been a long road. I mean, there's times you get down on yourself, but it's part of the sport. I mean, there's ups and downs and everything, and even in life, so you kind of got to just pick yourself up and make it happen, and that's what we did today. No, it's big. It feels like a monkey off my back. I'm just through the moon right now. I'm stoked.
Congrats again.
Thank you.
Jamie Guida.
Jamie Guida, Vital MX. Tom Vial, I want to ask, this season, first place Supercross, second motocross, second Supermotocross. Fantastic season. Did you exceed your expectations coming into the season or meet them?
Yeah, I mean, overall it was a great season. Obviously, didn't win the outdoor. I think I wanted to be a little bit closer in the outdoor, so that's why I really want to work on that for next year. I don't want to be beat again like that next year. So that's really my goal for the next season. And the SMX goes quick. Actually, I didn't have a great race in the first race, and then it's pretty hard. I didn't win almost every moto, so if you don't win a race or something, it's pretty tough to have a chance to win the series. But no, I still have to improve a lot in Supercross this winter, so I obviously want to do a great winter again like last year, and trying to be better in Supercross. I think I have to improve again.
Thank you.
Brent Bowser.
Yeah, Brent Bowser, Whiskey Throttle Media. My question's for Hayden. Hayden, two-time SMX champ, one-time 250 outdoor champ in your second year. Kind of alluded to it off the top. Did you expect it to come so easy? Has it been? Has it been kind of a surreal feeling knowing that you've won so many championships in the second year? Just kind of run us through your first 2 years as a pro.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it definitely doesn't come easy, but it's to the point now where the hard part is training during the week, and then you want it to be easy on the weekends. So that's kind of been my main focus, is just work as hard as I can so that these weekends are a whole lot easier than they should be. So, and that's how I felt like this season. Like outdoors, I feel like I'd show up to a race and like when I got in the lead, I feel like those 35s were easy for me. Like I wasn't getting out of breath or anything. And same thing with SMX. I feel like I just got into it and just instantly, when there's a championship ahead and I want to go get it, I feel like I can just kind of pull out the dominant card and just go after that. So all the hard work is during the week, and then the fun's on the weekend.
Hayden, so you just walked away with $500K. So I know, talking with your dad, you've got a very lucrative career ahead of you. Are you going to buy anything special? I know you have a couple rental properties. And have you considered investing in Bitcoin?
No, literally, I swear my dad's trying to get me to do that. He's trying to get me to buy Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. But I got to get another property. That's what I got to do first. I got to get another property. I kind of want to get one in Utah because you can like snowboard and mountain bike up there, so that'd be cool. But I want to get another car too, but I'm going to have to bribe my mom to let me do that.
Not financial advice, but do what your dad says, buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, I might have to. I mean, we'll throw 10% at Bitcoin.
All right.
Hi, I'm Sophie. My question's for Hayden. One of those laps you launched that wall jump in the motocross section. Can you talk about, were you launching it to something? Was there a bump that you were trying to land on? Like, what was the motivation for that, and then why didn't you do it again? Because that was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I got in a second, and I literally just sent it. Like, I wanted, like, pretty much as hard as I can for a lap to see if I could catch Pierce. And I jumped, hit the wall wide open. I actually landed, like, almost to the bank of the turn, so that was pretty sick. And I didn't really, I mean, I just closed a little bit on Pierce, where it was like, I'm not doing this every lap. It ain't worth the risk. But it was definitely, I just hit it wide open, and I went all the way to the burn.
It was a good plan. It worked out great. Let's hear it once again for our podium up here. Hayden Deegan, Pierce Brown, and Tom Vial. Well done, gentlemen. All right, let's bring them up. They delivered some incredible racing out here all year long, and especially down to the wire here for this final event, the SuperMotocross World Championship Finals. Let's get them out here. I believe we have Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, and Eli Tomac. If we can get them on out with a round of applause. And we'll start with you, Jet. Again, I've talked to the other champions up here. Just want you to talk overall what this means to you, to your team, to your family, all the hard work you did to get to this point to grab yet another championship in your amazing career.
Yeah, obviously it means a lot for the team and the family. I think obviously sitting that outdoor season out kind of really stung and obviously drove me a lot to get back and try and at least do good for this. And I think it also makes it more special with Hunter and I going 1-2-2 also. So, I mean, it's obviously a tough one because I want to see Hunter do good too. But that's the one harsh thing about this sport you could say is it's kind of, the best man win. And obviously got the good start. He was right there. I couldn't make any mistakes. But, no, I think it's just mainly awesome for the team. And obviously I feel like Dazzy would be pretty happy about those results.
All right, well done. Let's open it up here to our media. Dan Beaver.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. We'll stay with Jet. This is the first time you've really kind of worked through adversity that to the outside. The injury during the motocross season, and Eli at beast mode in the round one. Hunter taking the points lead last year. Does that make the championship a little more gratifying overall? And then being able to tie Hunter in points, does that affect your feelings any for this title?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the injury wasn't ideal in outdoors, and I think for how much injuries suck, I think it was almost a needed for me. I've had a really lucky run with injuries. Last time I had actually sat races out was back in 2020 in the Supercross season with my collarbone, so I think it was a long time coming, honestly, and I got pretty lucky with it just being a thumb. It wasn't a very painful crash, you could say. And, yeah, obviously, versus Hunter, this last round, and obviously him coming with red plate, it's cool to battle with HJ, but it's like, obviously, the brother side of thing, too, I want to see him do good and better than me, but it's like, once you get on the bike, it's kind of, you click into a different kind of person, and like, kind of after now that, like, it's set in, it's like, oh, I feel like a bit of an asshole now, a little bit, but, yeah, at least, you could almost put a title that we're Robin Feld for 1.5. You could say the Lawrence brothers.
I'm Sophie. My question is for all three of you, if you don't mind answering. We've now done 6 of these SMX rounds on all sorts of different dirt and different locations, different track styles. Can you talk about how the track shapes up in comparison to a regular Supercross track or motocross track, because your bike setup might be kind of a hybrid between motocross and Supercross? You know, the difference in the ruts and the bumps and stuff like that.
I mean, they were all 3 the rounds that we had this year. I mean, I missed them last year, but all 3 of them this year were all unique in their own way. You know, I felt like this one was actually the hardest one to gain time or make passes, but overall, I think it's a pretty cool thing because it's just out of the ordinary. You know, you definitely have to do some searching for your bike setup, and you, at least in my situation, I had to make a different motorcycle than standard motocross or standard supercross, so I enjoyed the 3.
She was asking all 3 of you. Do you want to answer that?
Okay, yeah. It felt like a lot of the past 2 weekends were really hard pack and slippery, but they break down more towards like a motocross track. But I think it's like what makes it so tough and unique is that you're riding a supercross based setup with hard components, internals that are manufactured specifically to work only on supercross, but you're racing them on like a hybrid motocross track that's breaking down. So that gets really tricky for the team because you're trying to make the bike handle opposite to what the parts inside it are made to do. So, yeah, definitely unique, but I think we had a really good bike this year. The team worked really hard, and, yeah, we had a great bike all 3 rounds.
Yeah, basically what those lads said. I think the good thing this year is at least a little more consistent with the track layouts. I feel like they're all kind of somewhat similar. I mean, for us, we kind of stayed with the same setting. It was more so as the dirt. We had some pretty good dirt in Charlotte. Obviously, Texas was road racing a bit with the slicks. And then this weekend was like a little bit of a mixture. We had some tacky areas. Obviously, the outdoor section was pretty fun with the mulch and that stuff. And then we had some really slick spots too. So it just makes it a little difficult. And you can't, like Eli said, you had to like kind of push. You find the areas to push. It was really hard to make a lot of time up. But, I mean, it makes it unique. And, I mean, it really comes down to a good start.
Michael Lindsay from BioMX. My question is for Jet. Your pass on Tomac in the first moto, as you got the run coming up out of the drag strip, going into the scrub roller, is that one of those ones that you knew as you were coming up, hey, I can make the move here? Or is it one of those instinctual moments where you just kind of send it and hope it works out? Like you just kind of try to make it work if possible?
Yeah, I obviously knew Eli was taking that outside, so coming up that time, it was just like, please stay left, please stay left, please stay left, so don't take my line, so I could kind of take it, because I had a line in the sand. I took it on like the 3rd lap. I'm like, oh, I could get him there, but the next lap he saw it and took it, so I kind of took that away. It was a little bit of a both. I had that line, and obviously if I could send it and get close enough, I might be able to get next to him, and I was able to do it that lap.
Follow-up in relation to talk about racing with Tomac. I feel like the narrative this year has been for the 450 class that people need to look at yourself and your brother, like your guys' technique, the things you're doing as the sport levels up. This is probably the first opportunity in SMX that you've raced an Eli that is firing more on all cylinders. Now that you've raced him, you've watched him and seen him at some of his best. Is there things you've picked up on, like things that he does well, or things you're like, okay, this is something I need to learn off of into 25? Again, the opposite of the narrative I feel like we've heard about you and your brother.
I think the one thing we definitely might go look at some paddle tires to see if that works. But it's a little hard because obviously both bikes handle so differently. There's things like in the first one I would try and copy Eli with if I knew he was better in that section, but it's just like that doesn't work for my bike, you know. So it's really hard to try and mix our techniques together because I feel like Hunter and I obviously have now built our kind of technique and style around our bike now. So it's really just hard to try and form yourself to copy what someone else is doing when they're on a different manufacturer, you know?
Jeez. HJ, obviously a little bit disappointed tonight, I'm guessing, naturally, but in the moment, are you able to have perspective that what you and Jet are doing is incredibly special? Like if you look at sport in general, Venus and Serena Williams, Eli and Peyton Manning, if you're an Aussie, Matty and Andrew Johns maybe, but extremely special what you guys are doing on the biggest stage in the top class to be brothers going 1 and 2. Does that at all come into play now, or are you just really up there thinking like what you can do next year to win as a competitor?
I'm actually just pretty tired right now. It's past me bedtime, honestly, what I'm thinking about now. But yeah, no, I have a bit actually. Like, it's pretty cool, you know. Not too long ago, we were, you know, not even racing pros yet, and we were watching Eli at Daytona on TV, you know, on ESPN. So it's cool to be at this, you know, the top of the sport now, growing up watching Ricky, Chad, and James from Australia and stuff. Like, as kids, just, you know, they could go around the inside of a corner and it would just be like nothing, but you're just like, oh my gosh, like, dude, they're the best. Like, so it's cool to be at that level and you know, I'm guessing have that same effect on kids and stuff watching us. So yeah, it is pretty cool, and you know, to be brothers doing it and stuff is definitely, it's pretty badass.
And what livestock are coming next to the dog pound?
I'd really like some Brahman cattle. That's the next one. They do really good in the heat. The Scottish Highland ones are really expensive. They're like the designer cows, I found out. But the Brahman aren't cheap
like
either.
Frenchie of
yeah, they're
cows.
like the Frenchie of cows. But the Brahman are good. They're a good breed. So, yeah, we'll look at them. Maybe Jet can shout them this time because I got the donkeys.
Andrea.
Andrea Ruggiero, Motor Now Blog. This one's for Eli. A bit of a hypothetical for you. If Sexton's injury leaves him unable to race Motocross to Nations, and you get that call, would you be willing to step in for Team USA?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a discussion that's going to be had, you know, over the next couple of days. But right now, it's an unknown.
Alex Ray, Swap Moto Live for Eli. You know, with the youth of the sport, you know, coming up and they're just elevating the game each year, right? Each year, you know, we get older. Are you finding it a little bit harder to bridge that gap, or did the injuries with, you know, the Achilles, did that like refire, like light a fire underneath you?
Well, I mean, yeah, you just have to adapt, and you have to always try to get better, and it's just having the mindset of never settling. So, things change, you know, every year. And of course, I'm watching the young guys and trying to learn some things from them, and just try not to be stuck in your rut and settle. So, you know, that's what's, you know, I guess it has got me through my career, is having that mindset.
Johnny Hopper with MX Unfiltered. Eli, I was down on the stadium floor, and it was shaking with praise when you would come by. It gave me goosebumps. And you're here for 2025, but we know Ducati is coming in 2026. What could we do to potentially keep you, since you're such a lucrative part of the sport?
Well, I mean, as of now, it's pretty done deal at 25. So my last season. So I don't think much will change between now and then.
So you're telling us there's a chance. All right. Alex.
Hey, Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. Congratulations to all of you guys. For Hunter, it's easy to kind of overlook the fact that this was your rookie season on the 450. So what was your biggest takeaway looking back? I know you only just finished the final round, obviously, but what can you take from what was such a solid season for you?
I think I was really, like, one of the goals I set before the season started was I wanted to be a contender every weekend. You know, that was one of the biggest things, is just be in the conversation every weekend. And Supercross was a bit of a battle. I was going, you know, figuring things out and going through some things and stuff, and it wasn't as great. And we got better towards the end of the season of Supercross, and then obviously outdoors we come in pretty good. And that's what I was kind of most happy about, is just to kind of pick up the same kind of characteristics from my 250 career, just being there every single weekend, being on the box, being in the conversation. So I'm happy with that. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get better. Like, I know I keep saying it, but like, the second moto, like, that was a great moto. Like, I'm not bummed on that at all. Like, I left it all on the track. Neither of us made any mistakes, and we just went, you know, hell for leather the whole time, and I didn't win, you know, but that was the best version of me tonight, and who knows what the version of Hunter will be in a year's time from now, but just keep knocking on the door and trying.
Scott Yarja, MotoNow blog. Jet and Hunter, did you realize that Chase was out of the race, and if so, was that distracting? If not, were you wondering where he was?
Actually, we got told on the way back from the podium, and obviously the first thing we heard was he got landed on, which sucks, you know. You don't want to kind of ends the narrative of three guys going into the winner takes all. So it was pretty crappy. And then obviously we got to see the playback, and it was just a crappy racing incident, honestly. Like, neither of the guys did anything wrong in my eyes. Like, Chase kind of just rolled the tabletop, well, not rolled, but jumped the tabletop and went to go inside, and Barsha already committed. So that's the crappy side of racing sometimes.
Yeah, like Hunter said, we found out after the race, and just exactly what he said, really. Just kind of, you don't want to see that. You obviously want to see all three of us out there, and Chase is obviously such a nice guy, and we love having him out there because he's such a good competitor. He races really clean. He gives it 100%, and it's just sad to see that happen, you know. And it's just a sucky racing incident. Like Hunter said, really, it wasn't anyone's fault, you know. They just had a split decision, and just didn't end up good. So I hope Chase has a speedy recovery, and I hope no one rips Justin anything, because it definitely wasn't his fault at all.
And quick follow-up to that, is that something where in the race you're kind of looking around for him, knowing he's like kind of fighting for the championship as well, or are you guys just heads down, focused on your own race?
I was focused on beast mode in front of me, trying to dodge the roots because that paddle throws it everywhere, and I'm like, especially out in the moto area, it just covered my goggles. I went a few laps blind through there, scared. So it's just more so just focus on the task at hand, really.
Zach Newberry, Transworld Motocross, motocross.com. For Eli, you've been around the Lawrence brothers these last couple of weekends. What have you learned from them? What have you learned from them, and what could you bring in the 2025 from racing them?
I mean, the last couple weekends there's just not many mistakes, and you know, I've made a mistake, and you know, it's been capitalized on, you know, in almost, you know, every time I've been passed. So just got to be more mistake free. Want to be up front.
Nick Still, MotoOnline.com. This will be for Jet. Jet, we're going to see this a lot more in the future now with Hunter and where he is with the progression of the sport. When you put your helmet on, do you see Hunter out there as your brother? Do you see him as just another competitor? It's going to come to this point where you guys are going to battle. These things are going to come. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's obviously the one really difficult thing, because obviously, we both love each other and we have a really, really good relationship, you know, and this sport is a very singular kind of person sport, you know, single results, you know, so obviously when the helmet goes on, you got to focus on business. I think you could definitely say, I think Hunter and I ride each other very different compared to the other people, you know, like we don't want to be anywhere near each other. Just in case if something happens or if someone gets sketchy. But I mean, then again, we're obviously really comfy next to each other because we know how we both ride. But it's going to get difficult. There might be some quiet car rides home, but I I think that's also more so from Dazzy ripping us to shreds of what we messed up on that day. But no, it's going to be exciting. I think for me, whether I'm first or second, I think if we're just both up there, and obviously for Daz too, it doesn't matter. If we're 1 and 2, then he'll be happy.
But we're cleaning each other out for $1 million. We're both happy with that.
I don't know. I'm a little against the cleaning out kind of thing. I feel like if you're really better than the person, you can pass them clean, you know. We can get close, but I really try and pass a person clean. I get more satisfaction out of passing someone clean than trying to go and just punt them. I feel like it's the lazy way of kind of passing someone.
All right. Jamie Guida?
Jet, you mentioned the 2025 Honda, and Hunter's been on it for the end of outdoors. I'd like to know what specifically you like better about it. What are you feeling that's better than last year's model?
The one thing I feel like we've gained a lot of side knob kind of traction. The frame's just a lot less reactive than the previous one. We couldn't be as confident on the 24. A lot of things we always had to be very hesitant and stuff like that. And looking back now, I don't know how I rode it the way I did, especially in the outdoor season. But obviously, Derek, our suspension guy, had a big key in it, and we were testing a lot of engine kind of frame parts too. But we took everything that we learned off the 24 that we knew was better and that stuff, and put it into the 25. And it's kind of a result of us kind of helping with Japan. We got to test it back in 2022, I think it was, in outdoors when we were on 250, and it's been a up and down kind of journey with it, trying to find if this works, okay, this doesn't, and I think it just shows of how much input we had in the bike and how much better it is to race, especially for us. But I think the main key thing you could say, this bike loves being on side knobs a lot more than the 24. We always are looking for support with the 24, where now we can kind of just turn off wherever we want to, you know?
Nice. Thank you.
One more question, Jason Wygant.
For Eli, boys talking a lot about their dad and the influence on their career. We certainly know what your dad has accomplished. Your mom was a great athlete as well. We know you want to come back next year. You still love the challenge of racing. Talk about them as well. I guess they want to keep their head in the game and enjoy this challenge of trying to get better and better all the time, and just having another year to experience that run before you don't get to be in this position anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. They've been here since 2010, and still running the same crew, you know, with Johnny T and then my mom. I mean, she doesn't come to every single race, but occasionally. So it's been a great ride that way, and really cool that we've been able to maintain, you know, that relationship of family, and then, you know, obviously the weekend is work. So, yeah, we've made it work.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. One more big round of applause for Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, and Eli Tomac, delivering some incredible racing for the SuperMotocross World Championship Finals. Thanks again to all of you. Thanks to our press for doing a fantastic job with this sport we love, and to our fans as well. We'll see you in the 2025 season.